Before I get going with the presentation, I want to kick it off with a little story to tell you. Last summer, I was going to Vegas for for the Cosmoprof show, and of course, I had to get a manicure pedicure before I went. Um, I came to see Olena, and she was doing services here at Beauty Cult, and she did a fantastic job, of course. But the thing that stood out from that appointment was at the end, she asked, when you take a picture of your toes in front of the pool, can you tag me? And I thought that was really well put because she was listening to my conversation talking about being in the pool because I was going to Vegas in July. And then she asked me a very specific ask. She painted that picture for me, put it top of mind. So when I was in front of the pool, of course, I took a picture of my toes and I posted it and tagged her. So I want to ask you all and pop it in the chat. Do you ask your clients to tag you on social media? Let me know in the chat. And I do want this to be kind of a give and take, so feel free to pop questions or comments in the chat. And the reason I bring up this point of asking that simple question is because it is one of the things that we are covering today. And I'm going to be talking about 3 money leaks that we experience as service providers. And tagging is part of our 3rd money leak. But the first 2 are all about how do we retain our customers, keep them coming back, and build an ongoing relationship with them. Okay, I got some answers now. Ask for Google reviews. I love that. Yeah, that's one of them too. So you're on there. Okay, perfect. So let me introduce myself before I go any further. My name is Doreen, and I'm the comms director here at Beauty Cult. So I help with all our social media marketing and email and behind the scenes general stuff. I also have my own business. It's called Quip Creative, and I help small businesses like service providers with brand and content strategies. But before all that, I was an esthetician as well, and my go-to service was Brazilian waxing. Um, and I live in Edmonton. I'm here from Edmonton. I'm at Beauty Cult today, just doing this session with you all, but usually I'm at home behind my computer. Let me know where everyone is from. If you want to pop that in the chat, you let me know that, and then I'm going to share my screen. Okay, can everybody see my screen? All right, perfect. So I've called this session the Fill Your Books Without Posting More Content because I wanted us to really focus on that client retention piece. So the client retention piece is really important because it is 5 times more economic for you to retain a client than it is for you to attract a new one. All right, so I'm going to ask you a question and we'll kick it off from there. I want you to respond and let me know, what is the biggest challenge for you right now? Is it attracting new clients, or is it keeping the ones you already have, that rebooking piece? Okay, we've got an attracting new clients. So definitely a little bit of both. So I'm seeing an even amount. Okay, so although today we are focusing on that retention piece, I do want to point out that the retention piece is important because if you are getting your clients to rebook, you're not in that constant cycle of needing to attract more and more clients. So rebooking, does anyone know what their rebooking rate is? Or do you track that kind of info? I got us a formula here. So you would have to figure out the time frame, so say in a month or 3 months, and then you would divide the number of clients who rebooked by the total number of clients that you saw in a month. And an industry stat that comes from lots of research done in the beauty industry in particular, it says that on average, only 40% of customers rebook. So if you saw 10 customers, only 4 of them are coming back to rebook. So you've got 60% that are just walking out the door. But if you get a client to book for a second appointment, they're then more likely, they're 70% more likely to become a regular client. So all we have to focus on is getting that client in for a second appointment. Okay, so we are going to touch on three things today. What I call the rebooking gap. This is where I'm going to share scripts with you and systems on how to get your clients to rebook. The second piece is the ghosting client. And this is for the clients that haven't come back in anywhere from 60 to 90 days. These can be first-time clients or even repeat clients that just dropped off. And then the last one is the referral. And this is where you make an ask for that referral. Okay, we'll start off with the rebooking gap. And I'm starting off with this because I was trying to say this off the top of my head, but here's the quote. Retaining a client costs 5 times less than it is to acquire a new client. So that means every client that doesn't rebook costs the same as getting 5 new clients. So we focus on getting the ones that we already have to rebook. Let me know if this sounds familiar to you. This esthetician on Reddit, under a thread of many estheticians struggling with retention, is asking for advice because in her case, attracting new clients is easy, but getting them to repeat book is what's constantly challenging. And I know, Chelsea, you said a little bit of both. I think that applies to a lot of us, right? Like you're kind of, especially if you're a solo provider, there's only so much you can do in a day, trying to attract new clients and getting the clients that you have to rebook. So kind of triaging and focusing on your most important part is part of this. And I think starting with the clients you already have is a good starting point. So how many of you walk your clients out or at the end of your service, if you're a solo provider, and ask if your client wants to book for their next appointment? Let me know in the chat. And this is like no judgment or anything, because I used to do that too. I'd be like, would you like to book? Because I wanted to be polite. But I want to reframe it instead of asking them if they want to book, because that's a yes or no answer. Asking them or telling them more like it, like for the first one, if to keep your results on track, I need to see you again in 3 weeks, whatever the service is that you've provided. I have, Monday at 2 available. Does that work for you? And I think being really specific in that sense is very helpful. This is a continuation of the conversation you're having in the room, right? Like if a client is coming to see you, they're coming for a reason, whether it's skincare or they're coming to get a waxing, whatever it may be, they're coming in for a reason. So as you're discussing their goals with them, you're laying out the plan of how do we achieve these goals. And so at the end, you are then closing that loop. Okay, let's rebook your next appointment. That's perfect. Okay, let's see. Monica said before they leave the room, I ask if they want to rebook at the 8-week mark. Perfect. Absolutely love that. Yeah, and I think I would just phrase it just like, do you want to rebook, to let's rebook you, or let's keep this going and we can rebook you in whatever, 8 weeks, 3 weeks, whatever you decide is the right strategy for your client. Now, your client can do one of two things. They can say yes, and that's great, or they can say no. So with the clients that say no, they're usually saying, no, I have to check my schedule, or, let me get back to you. I'll message you later. And that's totally reasonable because a lot of times maybe they need to run out. Maybe they have a lot on the go. So saying no at the time doesn't mean no permanently. So instead of saying, okay, it sounds great, I would just recommend you say something like, no problem. I'll reach out to you in the next couple of weeks to get you booked in. You can also say, okay, if I don't hear from you, I'll reach out to you and make sure to get you on the books. So just having that follow through, but you say that you have to make sure that you actually do reach out and follow up with them. So I think the follow-up system is one that poses a challenge for a lot of us because we're busy, right? And we have a lot on the go. So how do we make sure that we stick to our word where we're going to tell a client we follow up with them, we follow up? So I like to follow a set schedule. What kind of systems do you all use to book your clients? Are you doing DMs or messages? Do you have a booking system? Let me know in the chat because really it doesn't matter. You can, whatever you use is fine. Just use that, but then we can put some structure to it. So for your follow-up system, every every client should get a message 24 to 48 hours after their service, just checking in, right? Especially at the beginning. Now, I have one regular client because I don't do aesthetics anymore. I do have one regular client that I still see, and I've been seeing her for like 12 years. I'll touch base with her, but it's usually just like, oh, I just saw this show I thought you'd like, and everything okay with your nails or something like that. So you can add a little bit of that personal touch and that unique relationship that you have with your client so they know that it's in a robot just reaching out to them, right? So, but having that 24 to 48 hour visit check-in is very important. And that time frame has just through research that's been done, that time frame is very critical. So, you reach out. This is not a sale. You're not getting them to rebook. You're just touching base. If you've done a facial, ask how their skin is today. If you did waxing, ask how, maybe they react to waxing normally. Ask how their reaction's been or whatever. Um, yeah, and so yeah, Rachel, text is great. The cool thing about any system that you use, so even if it's text message, you can just schedule them in advance. And then, which I'm going to get to in the next section here. So 24 to 48 hours, you send a check-in. How was everything? How's your skin? And then a week before they're due. Now, if this client did not rebook and you want to make sure that you get them on the books, send them out a text before their next appointment. So if you told them that I'll reach out to you in a couple weeks, you reach out to them in a couple weeks. But if you told them you'll reach out to you in like 3 weeks, maybe they do 4 week gap between appointments, whatever it is, either the 2 week mark or the 1 week before, you want to reach out again and say something like, it's almost time for your next facial. I have this day and time available, which would work for you, and giving them a couple of options. The point of doing this is because clients genuinely do forget. Life happens, they get busy, they mean to do it. I've been meaning to text my nail tech for 3 days to change my appointment because I had a conflict, and I did it at 7 a.m., 7:30 a.m. this morning because I finally remembered and I'm like, I'm sending it. I just have to send it. So I think that, just sending it as a reminder, they think they will find it helpful for sure. So how do you do all this? Text messaging, that works perfect. You can schedule your messages if you want. You can even just put like a template note, kind of like the one I have on the screen here for you, and it can say, you know, you can put it in your notes, copy, paste it into a message, and then schedule that message for 24 hours. It can be part of your cleanup after your client or the end of the day routine. Just find a way to kind of weave it in there. If you take notes of your clients while they're masking or something like that, then you can also set up the message while they're masking and schedule it, and then it's done. For the weekly check-in, that 1 week for those who haven't booked, this one can be done as a batch reminder, maybe on Monday morning or at the beginning of your week. You go in and you see who's due to get rebooked, and then you send them a batch message. For all of you that are using the systems, that's a lot easier because you can schedule it in there. It can kind of keep track of things for you. If you're just using text, I would say use a spreadsheet, and then you can keep track of when your client's rebooked, when it's time, who's coming up. Just find a way that is going to be helpful. And if you guys think that having something like that, like a templated spreadsheet, would be helpful for you, let me know in the chat, because then I can put something together and offer it to all Beauty Cults clients, right? Like it's something that we can give you. Okay, so if they don't respond to you, you can try one more time. For the clients who didn't rebook, you can try one more time after that 1 week, or not after 24 hours, but getting them to rebook after a week. I would give it another 48 hours, touch base again. If they don't book with you again, then you can just move them to a reactivation list, and we'll cover that in the next section. Okay, why is this important? So I did a little bit of math, and I'm going to warn you all, math is not my strong suit. So I'm going to go through these numbers with you. I just kind of based it on an average. And I know some weeks are busier, some weeks aren't as busy, but if you're on average seeing 16 clients a week, that's 64 clients a month. At the industry average of 40% rebooking, you're getting 25 of those 64 clients to rebook appointments. This is why it's important to understand where our base rate is. So why, figure out what your rebooking rate is, because if you aim to increase your rebooking rate by 5% a month, that's not a lot, but it actually reflects as 4 more clients in a month. If you go 10%, you're getting 8 more clients in a month. 7 more clients in a month. And that can be if I averaged it like $100 per client with 7 new clients a month, that's an extra $8,400 a year with a simple kind of follow through system. Does anyone have any questions before we move on to our next section? Okay, so our next one is what I'm calling the ghosting clients. If you do have a question, just pop it in the chat. And this is for clients who did not come back to see you. And we've got two types of ghosting clients. You've got that first-time client that came in, had a great service, and then they never rebooked and they didn't call back. And then you have the regular client. Maybe you've been seeing somebody for a while and then they haven't rebooked or come in. And I'm sure that's happened to us all. And the reason that clients disappear, 90% of the time has nothing to do with you. It's really about what is going on in their life. It can be something came up, life, stress, whatever, budget changes, shifting in jobs, shifting in residence, whatever it is. Or the big one is that they forgot because of all the other things that have happened, right? Life happens and sometimes you just forget. And I think a really big one with our regular clients that don't rebook, after a while, it just feels more awkward for them to rebook. And then they start to feel bad. And so that might keep them from rebooking. So this is why I really recommend that you kind of customize your follow-up messages to each type of these clients, because you have a relationship with your regular that didn't come back, and one that you don't have with that first-time client. Let me know in the chat if any of you already do any kind of reactivation for your clients. And this is for somebody you haven't seen in 60 to 90 days. Okay. Nice. Okay, Monica does that. Do you do it like once a month? 8 weeks apart. Okay, amazing. Good job. Okay, so for all of us, so every 7 weeks. Beautiful. Okay, so for if you don't do your reactivation for your clients, this is one way that you can do it. And again, if you have a program, perfect. If you don't, use a spreadsheet, use a notes document, whatever you can work with. And again, if you want a templated spreadsheet, let me know in the chat. So you're going to identify your ghosts, I'm calling them. So the one-timers who never came back, put them in a list. And then the regulars who didn't come back, put them in a list. And then you're going to send the one-timers a second chance message, and then the regulars, you're going to send them that check-in. And you're going to keep track of who's responding to you, because that really helps you when you go into your following month and you're doing the follow-up. So for a client that came in once and did not rebook, you can send something along the lines of, hey, client, you came in for a facial back in January and I wanted to reach out. I have some openings this week if you've been meaning to get back in on the books. Want me to save you a spot? This is really a touch point as not a discount offering. We're just touching point. You're inviting them back in. If it's been a client that was a regular and just stopped coming, you can get a little bit more customized in your message here. So, like, hi, client, I was thinking about you and realized it's been a while. How have you been? I'd love to get you back on the books. When you're ready, just let me know. Or, like I was talking about my client, like her and I share a lot of interests on shows that we watch. So, you can throw that in. I was just watching whatever, a show on Netflix and thought of you. I think you would really like it. This is what it's called. How have you been? Da, 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 and then you can get into it. So really just try to build on that relationship that you already have established. I put another option too, like haven't seen you in a while and just wanted to say hi. This is kind of like a don't feel bad. Don't feel bad that you haven't rebooked with me. It's totally fine, just to ease that awkwardness that the client might feel. And for this, I would recommend that you do your reactivation day. You set one day a month where you do these connections with your clients that haven't come back. You can send them emails, you can do it as a text message, or do it within the system that you have. But carving out that time is really important because, again, it's going to be, it's easier to reactivate a client you've already seen than to attract a completely new client. All right, more math. The impact of getting clients to come back. So let's say you contact 20 past clients. The average response rate is about 20%. So that's like 4 clients would respond to you. Let's say 2 to 3 of those 4 would book. Then that's an increase of anywhere from like $2,400 to $3,600 a year. So that's pretty good. Each of these adds up. So you're doing these little strategies. We had 3,600 here, you had like 8,000 in the other one. So this can be well over $10,000 of extra revenue just by nurturing the clients that you already have. Okay, Rachel says she'd like to see a spreadsheet. That would be awesome. Yeah, I can work on that. Our third and final leak is our referral black hole, is what I call it, because I like to be dramatic. So this is the big ask. So there's 3 ways that you can ask clients for referrals. And the important part that I like to point out, and I think a lot of us feel weird about asking our clients for referrals, or that it might feel desperate that you don't have, that you're not busy enough. But really switching that mind frame and the mindset to view it as a stroke of confidence. Like, I'm so confident in my service, I know your friends are going to like it. And approaching it that way is because it's true, right? And if you have a client that's been coming to you over and over again, they also agree that you are great at what you do. So if you don't ask them, they won't think about it. And that's the same thing that happened with me. When Elena asked me, she didn't just ask me to tag her. She made it really easy for me to visualize taking a picture of my toes when I'm sitting by the pool. And so when I was at the pool, that was the first thought that came to mind. Then I didn't have to think about it too much, right? So I'm not saying, give them detailed instructions on how to take pictures and tag you, but if it's brows or lashes or nails, those are really photographable and shareable types of services. And asking for that tag is not is a really easy way to get your name out there. Yeah, Monica says it's awkward at first, but it's your business and livelihood. Absolutely. Yes. Right? The Google review. Okay, I'm getting to that. Okay, the second one is the referral. And this is actually I had somebody told me to go to a place because they're like, oh, they do referrals. This is a great place that I go to. And so when I got there, they asked, did anyone refer you? And I'm like, yeah, she did. And then so I gave the name, and I'm sure she gets something back in return. So with this one, you have to have something that you give your clients, whether it's a business card or brochure or whatever. Just say, ask them for the referral. Just, where is it? Let me see. I have it here. Okay. Okay, so if it's a facial, usually how's your skin feel? Oh, I love my facial. And it's like, oh, I'm so glad you loved your facial. If you know a friend who would also like a facial, please share my name or send them my way. And then you can give them the business card and then just let them know if they mention your name, I'll add whatever. Maybe it's and red light therapy on your next visit, or just add something instead of a discount, right? So give them an extra. Is offering a discount on a referral a good idea? Rachel, you can, or you can offer something extra, like a little perk. Maybe, you don't usually do the eye area when you're doing a facial. You can include a nice eye massage. Or if they're getting lashes, you can include a hand massage, something like that. Like just adding a little bit can be beneficial as well. With that one, it's good to give them something physical. But the other thing you can do, and I put this under the tag, which is the Instagram QR code. So if on your Instagram profile, if you click share, it displays a QR code that you can print up and have sitting at your desk, and clients can scan it, and then they're on your profile. They can follow you from there, and then they're able to tag you. That's also a really great thing that you can share with your clients. Ask them to follow you, and then they can refer their friends that way. And the final one is the review, the Google review. So this one, like Monica mentioned, this is really, really helpful. And a lot of businesses do it, not just in the beauty space. Like when I go get a physiotherapy, they had a QR code sitting on the desk. So you can get QR codes for your Google review, have them right there on your desk, and the client can scan it at the end. For this one, I know a spa here in Edmonton that does the QR code for the reviews, and they offer their clients like 10% off right then and there. If at the end of their service, if they do the review, they get 10% off. And that just encourages clients to do the review. But that QR code will get them straight to the page. They do the quick review, and there's less work on their end. Because the part of asking for a tag, a referral, or a review is making it as easy as humanly possible to get any of those, right? And what does that look like for you? Even if you got 1 to 2 referrals a month, that's anywhere from 12 to 24 new clients per year. And that's simply by asking. This is the QR code I was talking about. I just got it off of my Instagram, and I can show you how to do it if you need help with that. But having that up at your desk is a really great way to get clients to engage with you, follow you on social media, and tag you as well. Okay. I'm going to stop sharing my screen. So just to recap everything that we talked about today, we covered 3 what I'm calling money leaks. And these are things that you can fix in your business that will help you increase your bookings, keep your books full, and keep clients coming back. The first one being the rebooking gap. The second one is our ghosting clients, for clients who haven't rebooked with us for 60 to 90 days. And our last one is the referral. These are 3, but a lot of service providers have 4 to 7. Some can include like your pricing. Some can include your content. Any of those things can fall under the leaks. So we are offering these watch and learn sessions once a month, and we're changing the topic each time. So let me know in the chat, what is something that you would like to discuss next time? Is it more on attracting new clients? Is it on content? Is it on pricing of your services? Let me know, because we would love to design these sessions to be helpful to you. Well, I'm going to open the floor. Feel free to unmute and ask me any questions that you may have. How do you attract new clients in general? I post to Facebook groups and I post my own photos on Google listings, but it's hard to find new clients, and there is a pressure to consistently post on social media or run ads, which I haven't done yet. This is a great question, and very common question. I think that social media is a tool that you use to help you get new clients, but it is not a fast solution, and it's not the only solution. So social media does take a while for you to build your following and for you to build that community. Posting on Facebook groups is great too, but all of that is a long game, because everybody's on social. It's not like it used to be back when social first became a thing, where you would just get on there and get all this visibility. The other thing has to do with the type of content that you're posting on social. Think about what would your customers want to see. A lot of times we move into that like, how do I educate? But really, people want to see what you can do versus being told or a picture or anything like that. For example, I posted a reel on Beauty Cult's Instagram and TikTok about I was waxing Tara's nostrils. I did a nostril waxing and I only thought of it because I had seen somebody do a nostril waxing and they shoved like the wax all the way up the nose. And I'm like, no, 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 we got to do this properly. And that video has gotten so many views because it's very visually engaging. So I would just like look at how what you're posting, how engaging is it visually, and then look beyond social media as well. Is there, I think you said that you work in a inside of a different business. Like, do you work with hairstylists or other service providers that you can cross promote with? Or maybe where you're located, you can like partner with a cafe or partner with a yoga studio, like things that are kind of aligned with what we do. Maybe you can partner with the gym, something like that, where you can just put your cards or um, have like a referral program with the people that work there. And then the other thing is networking, getting out and meeting new people. Any chance you get to tell people what you do it. Like if you're at a coffee shop, you can, let the person knowing who's you're ordering coffee from, oh, I do aesthetics. Or if you do lashes, oh, I do lashes, and give them a business card. Like literally everywhere you go, talk about what you do because we take for granted that people might know, even if you're amongst friends and family. Talk about what you do, bring it up, bring up a great service you had, or just to kind of keep it out there because, again, people don't always think of referring you or talking about you because in our own minds, we are always the main character. So we have to remind people to think about us. If you guys just have a question that comes up, just message me on Instagram. Honestly, like I will answer your questions, no problem. I think the more that we support each other, the better it is. So if you want to pop your Instagram handle in the chat too, then I'll make sure I follow you guys back and share your content because that's also really helpful. That's something that you can ask your friends and family to do because a lot of times our friends and family aren't liking and sharing our content, but they should because that helps our visibility as well. All right. Take care.